Most people who have this personality don't even realize how rare they are, because their whole life they've just been told they're too sensitive, too intense, an old soul, or hard to read. If any of those words have ever been used to describe you, I need you to keep watching, because this is going to explain a lot more about yourself than you expect. People with this personality type are wired in a way that almost nobody else is. They can sit across from a total stranger and within minutes sense exactly what that person is feeling, even if that person is smiling and insisting everything is fine. It's not a trick, and it's not luck. Their brain is built to pick up on the tiny things everyone else misses. A pause that lasted half a second too long, a smile that didn't quite reach the eyes, a tone of voice that cracked just slightly. While most people are focused on what's being said, this personality is focused on what's being felt, and that's exactly why they exhaust themselves in social situations that don't drain anyone else at all. But here's the part almost nobody talks about, the part that makes this personality so easy to misread. On the outside, they can look completely confident. They can walk into a party, hold a conversation with a room full of strangers, make people laugh, and seem like the most socially at ease person there. Then, 20 minutes later, they quietly disappear to sit alone in their car or lock themselves in a bathroom just to breathe. Because being on for other people costs them something that most people never have to pay. That contradiction, looking social while being deeply introverted, is one of the most confusing things about this personality, and it's a huge reason why people with it often say the words, "Nobody really gets me," even when they're surrounded by friends. If that's starting to sound uncomfortably familiar, go ahead and tap that like button right now, because it genuinely tells me this needs to keep being talked about, and I want you to comment the one word that describes you best out of everything I've said so far, even if it's just misunderstood, because I promise you, you are not the only one who's going to type that. Now here's where it gets interesting, because this isn't just internet talk, there's actual research behind this. Studies on personality distribution, including large-scale data collected through the Myers-Briggs framework, consistently show this exact combination of traits, deep intuition, high emotional sensitivity, and a private, reserved nature, showing up in only about 1 to 1.5% of the general population, making it the least common personality type ever recorded in that system. Researchers have pointed out that this combination is rare specifically because the traits pull against each other. Being deeply empathetic usually comes with wanting constant connection, but this personality also craves solitude. Being intuitive and idealistic usually comes with being scattered, but this personality is also structured and decisive once its mind is made up. It's a walking contradiction, and that's precisely why it's so uncommon and so often misunderstood by everyone around it, including most of the time by the person who has it. People with this personality also carry something most others don't, an almost unbearable need for meaning. They can't do a job, be in a relationship, or spend their time on something that feels pointless, even if it pays well or looks good from the outside. If it doesn't feel like it matters, they will quietly burn out doing it. They replay conversations at 2 a.m., wondering if they said the wrong thing. They forgive people faster than they forgive themselves. They give advice that changes how people see their entire lives, yet they're often the last person to take their own advice. And underneath the calm, composed exterior, there is usually a storm of thoughts running 24 hours a day that almost nobody around them ever sees. If you're sitting there thinking, "This is describing me way too accurately," comment the word rare below, because I want to see just how many people watching this actually belong to that 1%. And I promise you, somewhere in this comment section right now, there is a total stranger scrolling through this exact video, feeling the exact same thing you're feeling, wondering if anyone else on the planet actually experiences life this deeply. That's the strange irony of being this rare. You can spend your whole life feeling like the only person in the room who thinks this way, when in reality, there are millions of people scattered across the world carrying the same weight, the same overthinking, the same quiet need to matter, and most of them have never once said it out loud. So say it now. Type the word Let someone else reading this know they're not broken and they're not too much. They're just wired differently than 99% of the people around them. Sometimes, the only thing that changes how alone a person feels is one single comment that says, "Me too," and you could be that comment for somebody else today, which is going to feel a lot bigger than you think once you scroll through and see how many people say it back. And if you know someone, a friend, a partner, a sibling, who has always felt a little different from everyone else, a little too deep, a little too aware, send this to them right now, because there's a good chance they've spent their whole life wondering why they don't feel like everyone around them, and this might be the first time they finally get an answer. Before you go, hit like, drop your comment, and follow, because next I'm breaking down the exact opposite personality type, the one that makes up the largest percentage of the population. And the differences between the two are going to explain almost every conflict you've ever had with the people closest to you.